Mayor Allen, it is 6:30, so once we have a quorum of council on camera, you may begin the meeting.
Thank you, Clerk Ainsworth. Okay. Good day, council. Can I have a mover and seconder to call the meeting to order? Moved by Deputy Mayor Coughlin, seconded by Councillor Maude Chapman, that the special meeting of the Council of Township of Springwater, July 26, 2021, come to order at 6:30 p.m. All those in favor? That is carried. Due to COVID-19, we're taking the necessary steps to limit in-person meetings. We're conducting this meeting virtually, electronically, with council and staff streaming. Residents can watch the live meeting on the township's website at www.springwater.ca. They can listen during the meeting by phone by dialing 647-558-0588 and using the following ID number 892-8844-7446 and then the pound sign. This is available during the meeting, and for those who are unable to watch the live stream and want to watch it thereafter, can watch the video on the township's YouTube channel. Councillor, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this evening? All right, I see none. Can I have a mover and seconder to call the public meeting to order? Councillor Cabral and Deputy Mayor Coughlin. That this public meeting of council held under Section 34 of the Planning Act for the zoning bylaw amendment application ZB 2021-009 by D&T Partridge be called to order at 6:32 p.m. All those in favor? That is carried. Welcome to the public meeting of Springwater Township Council held in compliance with Section 34 of the Planning Act to give the public an opportunity to express their views in regard to proposed amendment to the Township of Springwater zoning bylaw as amended. The first part of this meeting is to present the amendment. Following the public meeting will be given, the public will be given an opportunity to make an oral submission through the Zoom application. Any person wishing to make an oral submission must have notified the township prior to 8:30 a.m. this morning and must have been added to the commenters list. If a person or public body who files an appeal of a decision of the Township of Springwater in respect of a zoning bylaw amendment does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or written submissions to the Township of Springwater before the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is passed, the Ontario Land Tribunal may dismiss all or part of the appeal. All comments or questions should be addressed through myself as chair. Oral submissions will be included in this meeting's minutes and form part of the public record, including the name and address of the speaker as information collected under the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. The minutes of the meeting will be posted on the township's website. Matter we're dealing with is ZB 2021-009 by Doug and Therese Partridge of 1540 Walt Road. I now call upon the clerk to confirm notice of this meeting and the dates on which notice was given.
Notice of this public meeting was mailed on the 30th day of June 2021 to the owner of the subject lands and to the assessed owners of 6 properties in the Township of Springwater within 240 meters of the area to which the proposed amendment would apply, and to all persons and public bodies as prescribed under the Planning Act and its regulations. Notice was also posted at the assessed property to which the proposed amendments apply, at locations visible from Russell Road and Walsh Road. The notice was also placed on the township's website.
And has the planning department received any correspondence in response to these notices?
Correspondence was received from the Township of Springwater Building Department in an email dated June 30th, 2021, and those comments can be found listed on the agenda.
Thank you. I will now call upon Senior Planner Lisk to give a presentation outlining the purpose and effect of this proposal.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I'm just going to share my screen. Just 1 second. Zoning bylaw application ZB 2021-009 Partridge is a zoning bylaw amendment for the property known as 1540 Walt Road. The application, the current zoning of the property is agricultural and is designated agricultural in the township's official plan. The subject or the purpose of this application is to rezone the lands from an agricultural zone to an agricultural exception zone to permit an additional residential unit, which would be contained within a detached accessory structure, which will exceed the size provisions of zoning bylaw 5000. The next slide here will show the applicant's site sketch, which illustrates where the location of the primary dwelling is, where my cursor is on the site sketch right now. That is the primary dwelling. It also outlines the 2 existing detached accessory buildings on the property, one being a shop located where my cursor is now and a small shed. The additional residential unit will be located where my cursor is now. And the total of all of these structures together will equal 2,932 square feet, which was over the permitted 115 square meters, 1,238 square feet, which is allowed under zoning bylaw 5000. The current structure, the shop, where my cursor is right now, had already gone through minor variance approval to allow for an oversized structure, and therefore any additional structures above that would trigger a need for this type of application. So that concludes my portion of the presentation. I'm going to send it over to the applicants to add any additional information, and I'd be happy to answer any questions should anything come up.
Thank you. So, hello, Partridges.
Hello.
Do you have any further comment with respect to this, please?
In addition to what's already been presented, our purpose for asking for this is that we would downsize to this tiny house or guest house, and our kids would take over the main house. And so that we would hopefully be able to stay here longer as we age and have some assistance with maintaining the property the size that it is. So it's just a matter of making it, I guess, a multi-generational place for, and hopefully a bit of a safety net that we can stay here a little bit longer as we age.
So dinner at the kids' house every night, is that the plan?
Well, I think they're watching, so I best not say for sure, but yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll now call upon the moderator to provide the number of people who have registered to ask questions or make comments regarding this application.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. There are no commenters registered to make an oral submission related to this application.
Thank you. Do any members of council have questions or comments regarding this application? Be straightforward, I think. I don't see any, so thank you to all who have participated in this public meeting with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment and for showing interest in this matter. May I have a mover and seconder to adjourn this public meeting? Councillor Ma and Councillor Moore. Just trying to, 1 second here. That this public meeting of council held under section 34 of the Planning Act for application ZB 2021-109 Partridge does now adjourn at 6:40 PM. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, can I have a mover and seconder to receive the direction following the public meeting, please? Councillor Cabral and Deputy Mayor Coughlin. That council, having held a public meeting in accordance with section 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990, P13 as amended on zoning bylaw amendment application ZB 2021-009 by D and T Partridge, having noted correspondence and input received, direct that the application be referred back to staff. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 5.1 in the agenda, information reports, resolution for information reports. Can I have a mover and seconder to get this on the floor, please? Deputy Mayor Coughlin, Councillor Cabral. This is with respect to the mixed subdivision agreement, draft plan condition clearances. I'll turn it over to Director Spagnell. Just for an overview, there was an extensive report, but just want to see your face and have an update, please, Director Spagnell.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. So the purpose of the report is to inform council and provide council with a status update as to where the developers sit with respect to clearing the conditions of approval for the mixed subdivision. You'll recall that the mixed subdivision consists of approximately 152 draft plan conditions. Those conditions require clearances from agencies such as the MECP, MTO, Ministry of Culture, the County of Simcoe, the NVCA. The clearance of conditions also require the completion of an extensive amount of work related to engineering, subdivision design, and legal works needed to ensure that the standards of the municipality are incorporated into the plans that move forward. So essentially, based on 7 years of work that started in 2014 when the conditions of approval were finalized by then the OMB, the developer has addressed all conditions that are referenced within the draft plan conditions, either by way of agreements. So there's a master external servicing agreement, there's an external servicing agreement, there's the subdivision agreements that were done and completed to allow for the site works. And then on top of that, there are individual sign-offs from each of the utility providers to ensure that all utilities will be available on site. So it is based on that work that staff is informing council that the conditions of draft plan approval have been addressed, and that the developer, in concert with municipal staff, will be moving forward to register the agreement on title to the lands. And that should take roughly in the order of a month or so to do, just due to administrative matters. What the registration means is that the developers, once it is registered and it goes through the land registry office, the developers can transfer properties. Now, there are certain conditions and requirements that are needed to be met prior to building permit issuance that'll have to be resolved prior to that occurring. But in essence, the conditions of approval that have been instated through the decision of the then OMB have been addressed, as I said, through the approvals, by the agreements that are in place, and the subdivision agreement that was executed by the township. I'm available to answer questions. Mr. Engel is available to answer questions, and so is Mr. Mullen, along with CAO Schmidt.
Thank you very much. I open it up to council for any questions or comments with respect to this. As you say, it's been a long time coming, a lot of planning, a lot of question and answers, and adjustments leading up to this point, so I don't see any questions from council. Mr. Mullen or Mr. Engel, did you want to add anything?
Your worship, no, I've got nothing to add at this point, other than basically a lot of engineering work, as you've alluded to, has gone into this over the last number of years. And we are satisfied that the work that's completed to date is sufficient to allow us to move forward in this progress.
Thank you.
And likewise, Mr. Mayor, I think things have been progressing fairly well. It's been a lot of work and challenges to get to this point, but with the agreements we have in place, I think things have been progressing satisfactorily.
Good. Well, I take the lack of questions or comments as being evidence that it's been well handled, so thank you. So we have a mover and seconder that the report items listed herein be received as information, the mixed subdivision agreement, draft plan condition clearances. All those in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Can I have a mover and seconder for the confirmatory bylaw, please? Councillor Moore and Councillor Cabral, that bylaw 2021-075 to confirm and adopt the proceedings of council at the special meeting held on July 26, 2021, listed herein, be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. All those in favor? It is carried. A mover and seconder for adjournment, please. Councillor Ritchie and Councillor Ma Chapman, that the special meeting of the Township of Springwater does now adjourn at 6:46 p.m. to meet again a regular meeting August 4th at 2021 at 6:30 p.m. All those in favor? It is carried. Quick and efficient. Thank you. We'll see you in August.
Goodbye.